Beamy Logan, 29, senior lifeguard supervisor at indoor water park resort called Coral Harbor Springs. Place is giant humid box off highway, fake palm trees, lazy river, wave pool, birthday cakes everywhere. Job is rotating guards, blowing whistles at kids doing Olympic trials off railings, and praying nobody actually drowns. Crew mix of college swimmers, burned out ex-swim team guys, and a few tiny grandmas who can deadlift teenagers. Old HR guy just cared that we clocked in and did yearly CPR refresher without falling asleep on mannequins. If a rule existed, it usually came from state pool code or some laminated manufacturer sign we ignored at lunch. Summer crowd gets heavy, management hungry for new angles to market, safest family fun within 3 exits, whatever that means. One off-season Monday, email hits, mandatory town hall, introducing our new director of guest safety and experience. Whenever title has 6 words, you know someone will start speaking about feelings near deep water. We cram into banquet room that smells like old fries and rental life jackets drying too slowly. On stage, GM and woman early 30s, white blazer, sharp pixie cut, earrings like tiny stop signs. She introduces herself as Avery, says pronouns, new director, masters in something with gender and space in the title. Lanyard pins scream, smash the gaze, my body, my boundary, plus one little cartoon lifeguard tower with heart around it. Avery talks about historic male control over bodies around water, how lifeguard culture built on watching women instead of protecting them. Slides show stock photos, dudes in red shorts ogling bikini girls, captions, "This is not safety, this is surveillance." She says Coral Harbor will become flagship no-gaze resort where women can relax without feeling scanned from every angle. GM nods so hard we fear his neck, mentions corporate loves her proposal. Words lawsuit reduction appear in tiny print. We clap, polite crew clap, exchange looks that say, "Please don't touch the actual safety manual, lady." Week later, first policy packet lands in mailboxes, bright teal, title, Eyes on Water, not on women. Sounds reasonable until you read the subheaders and realize she means it literally. New rule, male guards cannot be assigned solo coverage on high vulnerability female zones, meaning hot tubs, tanning deck, splash pads. Only women may guard directly there. New role called empowerment guards. Uniforms same, but with purple armbands. Male guards must stay support perimeter, distance marked with little starfish stickers on deck where we're allowed to stand. We're still responsible for rescues, but cannot be stationed where our gaze dominates women's leisure space. Problem? We only have 4 female guards, 2 part-time, 1 recovering from knee injury, 1 terrified of wave machine. I point this out in meeting. Avery smiles like preschool teacher, says, "That's why we'll aggressively recruit women into safety roles." Until then, she says, we manage through creative scheduling, which is corporate for good luck not drowning anyone. Phase 2 arrives faster than new hires, privacy enhancements for female guests. Cameras aimed at hot tubs and shallow lounging pool are to be removed or angled at water surface only. Avery says women shouldn't feel like pixels in some male control room, glances at our dusty monitor cubicle upstairs. Maintenance guys unscrew ceiling domes, grumbling because they know who still gets blamed if someone slips or worse. She also bans binoculars on deck because zooming lenses equal zooming intentions, even though state guidelines literally recommend them. We used them to catch kids body slamming each other under waterfall where sightlines are trash, but apparently that's canceled now. Third wave hits. Tone reset for safety warnings. Guideline says yelling at women across water reinforces historic shaming over female bodies in swimwear. We are now to approach women quietly, at shoulder level if possible, and suggest rule changes using collaborative phrases. Instead of, "Ma'am, no running," we're supposed to say, "Hey, can we walk here together for everyone's safety?" Try that on 10-year-old sprinting near Spillway and see how collaborative her skull is with tile. First weekend with new rules, chaos smells like chlorine and sunscreen. Serena, one of our few empowerment guards, gets stationed alone, covering hot tubs and half of lazy river entry. I'm on support perimeter, meaning I can see people, but technically not shout at them unless it's imminent catastrophe. College dudes complain they're banned from hot tubs after 9, unless accompanied by registered female guest. Avery's other idea. She calls it reducing testosterone storms. I call it creating drunk men loitering by my ankles instead of sitting down. One girl nearly slips descending into tub. Ray instinctively blows whistle from wrong side of starfish. Avery's head snaps around. After shift, she pulls him into office, says his whistle blast sounded punitive, not empowering. Writes coaching note in file. Ray mutters, "Gravity doesn't care about empowerment." Gets another note for negative attitude during reflection. Month later, Avery announces Goddess Nights, Friday evenings where women get discount packages and special access perks. Marketing ad shows cartoon women floating beautifully in wave pool. No kids, no men, glowing under fake moon. Fine by us. We like nights with fewer drunk dads trying to race kids down slides. Then she explains operational twist. Front half of wave pool becomes Goddess Zone, where only women and girls allowed when beacon light is purple. Male guards cannot stand on Goddess side edge during those times. Must stay respect ridge, taped line farther back on deck. Only empowerment guards may patrol that front lip, whistle, and wade into surf without explicit invitation. Men may enter water only when requested backup over radio by a female guard already on scene. I ask what happens during cardiac arrest when seconds matter and radio batteries love dying mid-shift. Avery says, we will train women to take primary lead. Like skill grows faster than wave height because policy says so. We try it first Friday. Radio channels clogged with phrases like, I request respectful backup instead of guy drowning right lane. Waves hit, inner tubes collide, screams echo, half fun, half panic, impossible to parse from Respect Ridge. Serena does heroic job, but by midnight she's shaking from exhaustion. We're 2 EMT calls deep for minor injuries. I file incident summary pointing out staffing gap, lack of cameras, and new distance-making rescues slower. Avery replies with long Slack message about early friction whenever true justice meets old habits. Adds clapping emoji. She pins message to Safety Culture channel. My report quietly disappears into compliance folder. Nobody opens until someone sues. Summer brings heat index that could poach eggs on slide stairs. Crowd numbers climb. Goddess Nights become Instagram hit. Local council member Rivera books huge corporate retreat. Wants whole team plus family to enjoy our progressive resort. Corporate loses their minds, sends extra banners, tells us, whatever happens, Rivera leaves happy and uninjured. Rivera brings husband, staff, and 16-year-old daughter, Lucia, athlete, fearless, wearing bright yellow rash guard with sun on chest. Avery personally escorts them around, talks about feminist safety design, points proudly at purple goddess beacon over wave pool. Night crowd thick, music loud, purple light on, goddess zone open, front half waves full of women, kids, Lucia front center. We schedule Serena and new hire Tasha as empowerment guards on lip, both strong swimmers, but understaffed for size of zone. I'm on respect ridge with Ray and another dude, 30 feet back, technically support, practically watching near misses like horror extras. Waves start moderate, then machine bumps to ocean mode for show. Boards on wall say, experienced swimmers only. Nobody reads signs ever. Inner tubes stack near center, cluster of kids using them as floating wrestling ring because Darwin never sleeps. I see Lucia dive under incoming crest to duck someone splashing her, lose sight as foam and plastic swallow frame. Second later, there's weird gap on surface where her bright yellow shirt was, wrong shape in water. You learn to feel that wrong shape, like empty chair at family table. I glance at Serena. She's directing someone near ladder, back half turned, whistle in mouth, but focused elsewhere. Tasha scanning farther left, already moving toward crying toddler, clinging to tube that's escaping perimeter rope. I lean forward, instinct screaming, but starfish line at my toes, glowing like electric fence in my brain. Avery's emails flicker through head, notes about men charging into women's space. Ray's coaching write-ups pinned on bulletin. I yell, Serena, center gap, can you see Lucia? Over music, but subwoofers eat half my words. I take 2 steps past Respect Ridge, half planning to just blow whistle and go, when Avery grabs my elbow from side. She's standing near VIP cabana with Rivera, both holding smoothies, wearing those promo flower necklaces managers love. Avery hisses, Logan, you're crossing into Goddess Zone. Do not undermine my guards in front of the council member. I point at water, shout, Lost swimmer, yellow shirt, center. Not caring if it sounds panicked, because it is. Serena's head snaps up, eyes track where I'm pointing, but she's 3 bodies deep from edge, tangled near ladder. I blow whistle hard, that full sharp blast she hates, jump over starfish line, feet hit wet tile running. For half second, I expect Avery to yank me back, or radio security about male intrusion, but adrenaline outruns bureaucracy. I dive off edge, cold hit shocking after humid air, sound of world collapsing into muffled bass and bubbles. Underwater vision blurry, but training survives. You scan for loose hair, limbs, anything not attached to stable surface. Spot yellow, smear down near floor. Lucia wedged between 2 tubes, knee hooked on another kid's ankle, hair swirling. She's conscious but eyes wide, sucking in bubbles, waves shoving tubes down over her head every second. I shove tubes aside, grab her under arms, kick hard, lungs burning, thinking about every policy memo like weird prayer. We break surface. She coughs, sputtering. I drag her toward rope. Tasha arriving, helping haul her onto shallows. Crowd noise flips from fun scream to worried buzz. More phones out than towels. Classic, modern response. On deck, she vomits water, breathing ragged, borderline but not blue. Thank whatever gods watch idiots in indoor oceans. EMTs race over from first aid, slap oxygen on her, strapped to board because lawyers love boards. Rivera appears, face gone from relaxed retreat mom to woman who knows your city permits, stares at us like court date. Avery tries to talk. Rivera holds up hand, says, later, follows stretcher out with husband and half her staff. Goddess night quietly ends early, wave machine off, purple beacon dark, deck suddenly echoing without music. Next morning, we get pulled into conference room that now smells like coffee, chlorine, and pure fear. At table GM, Avery, head of security, corporate safety guy in remote window, plus city pool inspector invited specially. They roll security footage from last night, multi-angle, audio faint, but enough to hear my whistle and shouting. Screen shows Lucia vanish under tubes, second counter ticking, 3, 4, 5 before my dive, longer than it felt. Footage also shows Avery grabbing my arm at Respect Ridge, mouthing something, then letting go when I tear free. Inspector pauses, rewinds, zooms on Starfish Line, on sign reading, "Male staff do not cross during Goddess Zone." Asks calmly, "Who implemented that restriction and removed the cameras that used to cover this side?" Avery says policy came from her office, meant to protect women from unwanted male attention, not from legitimate rescues. Inspector flips through binder, pulls old manual page recommending binoculars, deck positions, and camera coverage along full perimeter. He asks when those were changed, who signed, whether state health department approved removal of visual coverage. Corporate safety guy asks about my earlier incident reports on staffing and visibility. Apparently, I wasn't emailing into void after all. IT forwards PDFs where I literally wrote, "Distance and missing cameras will slow response to submerged guess." Each report has Avery's reply attached, talking about fear narratives and trusting empowered women's perception over hardware. She tries to argue the delay was my hesitation, says, "Logan could have acted faster instead of yelling first." Inspector rewinds clip where she grips my elbow, zooms hard enough to see her bracelet, timestamp counting precious seconds. He asks, "Was this you instructing him not to enter Goddess Zone in front of VIP guests?" Room silent except projector fan. Avery says she just wanted to prevent optics of male charge. Immediately hears herself. Corporate guy asks about earlier write-ups for Ray's whistle use and my excessive vigilance. Reads phrases like, "Trust green lights, not anxiety." GM winces because he co-signed those for coaching culture. Now they sound like exhibit labels. Inspector notes paperwork says we can't shout at running kids, but must physically approach. Calls it bizarre inversion of urgency. Rivera joins halfway through. Daughter fine but bruised, sitting at home under 4 blankets and 7 lawyers' phone numbers. She listens 5 minutes, then asks one question. "Did any of you change safety procedures without checking state code first?" Nobody answers. Silence says yes, louder than a whistle ever did. Week after meeting, memo goes out. Effective immediately, dignity first operational elements are suspended, pending review. Binoculars quietly reissued, cameras reinstalled over hot tubs, Goddess Zone signs removed overnight like failed ride sponsorship. Avery's office door stays closed 3 days, then email from corporate. We thank Avery for her passion and wish her well elsewhere. No going away cake, no group photo, just maintenance peeling no gaze posters off hallway and tossing purple armbands into storage bin. New interim HR is older woman who used to run city pool system. First move is printing state code in giant binder. She tells us, "If anything conflicts with this, binder wins, not feelings, not hashtags, not marketing. Rivera eventually tweets supportive message about learning moment, but adds line, safety must never bow to ideology, which corporate reads daily. I keep working that season, rotation back to normal, more women hired as guards based on swim tests, not vibe essays. Still, every time I step to edge, I see yellow rash guard under white foam, starfish sticker in peripheral vision. City later posts job for aquatic safety coordinator, mostly boring paperwork, water tests, training kids at municipal pools. Pay slightly less, stress probably too, plus nobody there promises no gays revolution, just meet code, don't drown taxpayers. I interview, tell cleaned up version, leave out phrase, feminist lifeguard apartheid. I use privately with Ray. They hire me, mostly because Inspector already recommended. Says, this one will annoy you with incident reports. That's good. Last week at Coral Harbor, I walk empty wave pool before open. Floor lights still blue. System humming. Starfish respect lines faded, but visible ghosts. Purple beacon mount, now blank, metal bracket above deck. Don't feel like genius saboteur who toppled ideology, just guy whose reluctance almost cost seconds he didn't have. Sometimes justice isn't watching someone ratioed online, it's seeing their pet policy ripped off wall during quiet morning. Then taking whistle and experience to place where rulebook fits on one page. You see danger, you move. Period.